Hi, I'm Dave Barnes.
And I'm John McLaughlin.
And welcome to Dadville.
Dadville is a podcast where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of awesome dadding.
It's funny thoughts and deep talks.
So please, enjoy your time here in Dadville and enjoy this episode with...
Stephen Kellogg.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Everything you say will
Everything you
and
say.
can be used.
Good. That's how I like it.
You look like you just fell numerous trees. You exported the sap from them, put them on pancakes that you made from wheat that you harvested in your yard.
Mm-hmm. Now, to be clear, for those who aren't familiar with the outdoorsy vernacular, Dave's not suggesting that Stephen Kellogg fell from trees and like he looks banged up.
He would have survived if he did.
He cut down a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
It was extracted their use of vocabulary. And my hope for our podcast this morning was that I'd be able to shower. And when I got to the hotel, the water's off until load in. So so no shower for all.
Wait, the water at the hotel is off?
Yeah, and I'm in Indianapolis. I'm in Fountain Square.
Oh,
John, don't do that.
What are your people doing,
Don't
John?
do that to us.
Can you send a strongly worded?
We don't need any bad PR here, SK.
A strongly worded email. John knows he knows power players in Indiana. I mean, if you want to
look, what if I could send a couple emails and next thing, like 10 minutes from now, you hear steamy hot
truck.
Water coming.
Hey, I wouldn't complain. I'd take the win.
Well, look, I apologize on behalf of my state. We normally have hot water available in my experience, but
not today. Not today.
Well, you didn't need it. You look great, man.
Lumberjack.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look amazing. That to me, I mean, this is insider baseball, but like that is the dilemma for me then, because you look cool in a like a scully or whatever you call them. I always call them toboggans, but I think it's actually what you go down a mountain on. But that's where my vernacular really falls apart, my vocabulary.
Yeah.
My problem is I don't ever wear hats on stage. So if I can't get to a shower before a show, it's not panic inducing, but I'm a little like, I don't know how, like I'll do some sink showers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that's been happening to me, because I have been about 50-50 with hats and no hats.
Yeah.
But I do have quite a few guitar changes, and I knock them off, which
of course
negates the cool factor of like having the hat kind of. It doesn't go on right.
You know, as a piano player, I've never thought about this, but like the guys who are wearing the cool like kind of brimmed hats.
Exactly.
What do you do when you got to change the guitars?
You just knock them off and look like a damn fool. I mean,
look like a drunkard.
We take the picture of the band before we go on each night because we've been having fun wearing different outfits and all this stuff. And then when I see the pictures from the show, they're so the hat gets cocked. I knock it off on the first song every night. So
it's something to look forward to for the fans. They're like, is he going to do it?
It's like 3,000 shows in, and you still can't figure out how to keep the hat on when you're taking the guitar off.
Exactly. Even if it was this hat, I'd knock it off. It's just,
which is oddly enough what Randy Newman's "You Can Keep Your Hat On" is about, if you really listen to the lyrics.
That's right.
Okay, folks, with us, you hear him and you know him and you love him. It's Stephen Kellogg. And Stephen, we intro our Dadvilles with a brag sheet. And so this is just a little getting to know you, getting to know all about you. All right, so here's yours. Ready?
Okay.
And 3, 2. Today on Dadville, we've got singer-songwriter, storyteller, author, and professional road dog Stephen Kellogg. As you heard, he's in Indy tonight, folks. Stephen has been making music for more than 2 decades. First as the founder and frontman of Stephen Kellogg and the Sixers, a band known for relentless touring and deeply personal Americana rock songs. After the band went on hiatus, he continued as a solo artist, building a career defined by connection, playing thousands of shows across more than 20 countries and earning a fiercely loyal fan base along the way. He's released numerous albums, delivered a widely viewed TED Talk on job satisfaction, which we're excited for you to tell us how to be satisfied in our job by the end of this, written a book called Objects in the Mirror, and become known for live shows that blend music, humor, and storytelling, somewhere between a concert, stand-up set, and group therapy. Offstage, Stephen is married to his high school sweetheart, a dad of 4, and a guy who spent much of his career trying to figure out how to chase big dreams while staying grounded in family and real life, which makes him basically perfect for Dun 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 Devil.
Yeah. Dude, we're happy to have you, man.
To have you on. I know.
This has been a long time coming.
Dude, this is I am so happy to be on this. I have watched this podcast and listened to it since the day it came out.
Don't do that.
You made my month when you invited me.
You're just trying to get my shirt off, and it's going to work.
This podcast is like a hot shower for SK.
A hot word shower.
A hot word shower.
Which is the name of my first rap album. So, Stephen, you are in the midst, as we speak to you right now.
Well, probably by the time this comes out, it will have happened, the 3,000th show.
3K. Where are you right? Like, what number are we on tonight within Indianapolis?
Tonight will be 2,996.
Wow.
So we're close.
Where is 3,000?
It's going to be in Northampton, Massachusetts.
Oh, that's
which
perfect.
Ironically,
that's where it should be.
That's like where my first shows were.
Oh, that is so much fun.
It's like, hey, kids, put your heads down, work really hard for 28 years, and you can be right where you began.
So you'll play your 3,000th show in Northampton at the Iron Horse, which is the venue you used to like intern at, right? You worked there before you got started.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's cool. It would be probably more charming if like I was going back to some venue that like if I was going back, like I'm going to go back to where it all began. If it hadn't been a place, like the main place that I
like, I'm tired of playing at the Garden. I'm going to go play.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Right.
But there is plenty of metaphors and symbolism in this all. So it's cool. It is good.
Do you have anything kind of fun planned for that night?
I do. Yeah. I mean, some of what I have planned is that some of the people that are coming out for that and the night before in New York. We got some cool special.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you're doing New York the night before.
That are planning on coming. I bought flowers for everybody, and when we have been closing the shows with my song "See You Later, See You Soon," and I'm going to hand out. We're going to go.
Oh, I love that.
Put a flower in everybody's hand, and just it does feel symbolic. Also, we got the call yesterday that the club had booked a Taylor Swift dance party for kids during the day matinee, and we'd have to load in late. And I was like, "Cool,
feels right. It all feels right.
That's on brand for the
good
climate of the music business." I'm like, okay, great, no problem at all. Don't mind me over here. Just
don't mind the live music.
Celebrating my own self-made mythology. Here we go.
So I'm curious, if you think about where you are now and having played, all these shows and put all this music out, if like, let's say you could time travel to, Stephen Kellogg when he's, 22 or 3, and you had like, a minute with him, and all you can talk about is vocation. So no like wife, no family, no kids, none of that. What do you think you would tell him?
And what would he tell you?
Just vocation.
Well, just vocation.
Dave, I feel like, and I'd be curious if you guys are on this train too, but I mean, I think what I'd probably tell him is, yes, your vocation is, you're going to get a lot of fulfillment from that, but you really ought to just focus on who you're going to, who you're going to spend your time with, who you're going to spend your life with is the real win. And you don't think that I'm telling you the truth when I say that. You think that's just for people who can't, quote unquote, make it. But I have sort of would be very would want to impart to young me. Just focus on, finding friends and, someone to go through life with, and don't worry too much about vocation, because nobody's really going to be remembered forever anyway. So just like let it. It's not as big a deal as you think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think if he would have stopped you and been like, "Hey, what does my life look like right now?" and you give him kind of a synopsis, what do you think he would say to current day Stephen Kellogg? Like, what would his critique be? Would he be like, "What do you mean you're not playing 200 shows a year anymore?" Whatever.
Yeah, I think he would be a little surprised, because he'd go, "Well, you've actually done exactly what you always said." Like, I think when we all started, we're like, if I could just play shows, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
And then you start playing shows, and you're like, well, if I could play bigger shows with better production, I'm good. If I had more fans, and you're always going to play that game, Yeah. And I know I'm very aware that I've gotten to live young Stephen's dream, and also many people's dreams. And yet, I'm as satisfied as anybody. There's plenty of things that I'm not totally square with, that I have to work at. And so,
right.
In terms of what young Stephen would say to me, he'd probably be like, that's so cool. You're doing what I want to do. And I'd say, okay, maybe, but also just like try to if you meet the right person, hang on tight, treat them like gold, and make your life work, make your friends work, make everything kind of work as you go, because this one thing isn't going to fill you up the way you think it is. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure.
Yeah.
But it's not going to fill the spaces, the holes. You know what I mean?
I will say that anytime I, meet an artist in this business who has people around them who've been around them for years and years and years, and then you run into them 10 years later and they still have that drummer, or they still have that tour manager, or whatever, it definitely says something about them. And I would definitely put you in that category. You've been doing it long enough that you've had probably different seasons where you've had a diehard crew around you for a while, and then now you're in another season where you've got now this diehard crew around you. But you've had people in your camp the whole time that have been with you, which really says a lot about you.
Thank you. It's interesting you bring it up, John, because I also...
You just fired everyone this morning.
Well, not entirely,
after
but
your cold shower.
There's some shame in losing people along the way. There's some, like, it's embarrassing in a way, or upsetting. That people, and yet, of course, you understand everybody's got to do what they got to do.
Right.
But I took so much pride for so long in being able to retain so many people, and when some of those relationships go away, in a good way or in a more difficult way, it's you think like, I had to kind of, my 40s have largely been about working through, did I do something wrong? Am I a bad person in some way that I'm not seeing, and because I thought that middle age would be this amassing of friends, and the group would just grow and grow and grow, and it's kind of, it's not always like that. It's you do lose some people along the way, but it's nice to hear you say and point out and remind me that there are a lot of people who still, are in here.
You said that so well. I think one of the things that that has been probably the hardest doing what we do for me has been those seasons where that person that tours with you, or that you make music with on the road, is like, hey man, I can't do this anymore. I got to do this. And what we see I'll speak for myself. What I see in Nashville a lot is, they're like, I want to be writing. I want to be playing in the studio more. I want to be producing. And all of that makes sense, especially as they're getting married and having kids and stuff. But it's just such a bummer, man. It's like, because, I think for me, and I would imagine most of us feel this way, but, I'm like, so much of what makes the road fun is who you're with. yes, and I think people like, of course, they see the shows and that part of it, but the other, whatever, 14 hours of the day, 12 hours of the day, it's you in a car or backstage or going to a movie or whatever. It's like, it's so much hang time. And I think when you find those people you really gel with musically and connection-wise, it's just magic. And then it's so heartbreaking and understandable when they're like, hey, man, I just can't do it. Because then you're like, this isn't just getting another guitar player or bass player or drummer or keyboard player. This is like finding another family member.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It is tough.
100%, and you crave that. What we get to do, it kind of keeps you, you get to stay young. You're still having sleepover parties because of that camaraderie.
Right.
You're still getting to goof around. And when you start bringing in people who you don't have that history with and stuff, and it does start to feel a little like a more traditional job might, I guess, feel.
Yeah.
Where you're like, cool, we're doing the job, but it's not the same. And that's, I'm with you.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Dave, the month of March includes International Women's Day. It's a day to celebrate women's strength, progress, and how much they care for others and manage so many responsibilities. It, of course, makes me think about Amy, my wife, of course, and all the ways that she's there for me and the girls and how she makes the world a better place with her actions and her wisdom, and I could go on and on and on.
She does. She absolutely does, John. We recognize all women, not just on that day, but every day. And a big part of that is reflecting on the roles women play, the expectations placed upon them, and the pressures they feel. Sometimes that can feel very overwhelming.
When that overwhelming feeling is present, a great way to help create balance, set healthy boundaries, and support overall well-being is through therapy.
And BetterHelp is a great place to start. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S.
With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and our 12-plus years of experience means we typically get it right the first time.
But if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist anytime. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise.
Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy.
Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Dadville. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Dadville. John.
Dave.
Can I pick a subject that we talk about right now?
Please.
Bed sheets. Go. Just
okay,
say whatever
here's
you're
the
thinking.
thing.
Say whatever you're thinking.
Because I feel so passionately about this.
Okay.
You know what I don't like?
What? Tell me.
Bad bed sheets.
Oh, hashtag.
Okay? When the corners won't stay put, the fabric's super thin, you can practically see through it. When they're scratchy.
Yes.
Oh, you wake up like in all hours of the night, you're too hot, you're uncomfortable. It's miserable.
It is. John, if your sheets are thinning, slipping, or overheating, that's your sign it's time to upgrade to Boll & Branch.
I knew
Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made from 100% organic cotton.
Yes.
And are designed to hold their shape, unlike me in college, stay breathable, and feel luxuriously soft every night.
Dave, I'm not switching to Boll & Branch unless you tell me that I'll fall asleep faster, stay comfortable all night, not just some of the night, and actually notice the difference the very moment I get into bed. And that they won't wear out.
Oh, John, I've got some good news for you because all of the above is happening. They get softer with every watch.
Yes.
Yeah, and wash, John. You can sit there.
Just
they're
watch
so
them.
comfortable. You just fall asleep looking at them. Sleep sound with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/Dadville.
That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/Dadville to save 15% and unlock free shipping. Exclusions apply.
Well, the other piece too that's funny is I've noticed this with me. They get younger, so then it gets even more interesting because you're still getting older, and then the people you're hiring are getting younger because those are the people who are like, no, I do want to hit the road and go play. And then it becomes like I had a really interesting season. It's kind of still like this now, where it's like these guys are 20 years younger than me. And it's that is not your friend. I mean, you're friends, but that's not your friend. And so then you have this sort of like elder statesman job where you're like, I'm like the boss. And then we kind of hang and have fun. But it's even as much as I try to be chummy and sort of like, hey, right, guys, they're kind of like, okay, it's kind of, hey, Dad, please stop,
different
Dad.
Generations, man.
Yes.
So the fellow who was my tour manager for last year, he was working at the Bluebird and running sound, and he said, hey, do you ever do like any kind of master class on just like the business or building a career? And I was like, well, tell me about your story. And he did, and he's a songwriter, and he's just getting going. He's in his 20s. And then he was like, yeah, I've been sleeping in my car to do shows. And my brain was like, this is a guy I could work with, like a guy that's willing to do that is a guy that could probably handle what I have to throw at him. And I mean, I'm like, this is terrible, and we did, and I worked him blind, but it is different. It's not the same as all being in that wavelength, now.
So have you found that with being, because isn't this current band a lot of the originals?
It is. It's about half and half. And the people who weren't in the band are people I've played with and known. And here's the thing. We're on a bus. We've got crew. We're traveling with our own soundboard. We've got our ears. I mean, there are a lot of things clicking and working right. And it is very hard, and I say this lovingly, to keep everybody happy. Oh, my God. I mean, it's like we're pulling out all the stops here, but it's just harder with the people. The youngest person on the tour is 38, and the oldest person's 56, and just like the young me would have been like, you've got it all. At what point could we do? I mean, we could have huge crowds. That's the only thing we don't have, and that is a big thing. But we have crowds. We have critical mass, so it should be okay. But
that is something that you have to square up with and deal with. That like sort of, how much am I responsible for everyone's mood? And with me, definitely back in the day, it was, for whatever reason, if I noticed, so and so's a little unhappy, seems bummed out, I'm like, well, it's something that I've done. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because it probably was a young, like, there's probably some narcissism there where I'm like, well, this is my tour. These are my shows. So all the problems have to be mine as well. It can be so stressful.
If there's a way to not feel that, I don't know what it is. It's not. I mean, the nights that I get sleep are just, I'm like, okay, everything seems okay, which ties in nicely to Dadville, because this is what it's also like being a parent, where like, you've got these kids whose lives have their own complexities, and you're suddenly responsible for everybody's happiness. Like, no, this is the worst, So to go from my house where where I feel that way, and that's because, being an empathetic person, you feel things like, but whoa, it's a lot, And yet for the first time in many years, the camaraderie's just killing. We're playing cornhole in the dressing room. There's jokes, there's laughs. We watch Spinal Tap on the bus. We're really, musically it's so special, and it's also so unsustainable. There's no way. This is. I'm just enjoying it as best I can. And,
Well, I think something that I've noticed that I think is good is it definitely doesn't feel like, to me, there's as much on the hook. It's like where I think when you're in your 20s, every show is like, this is where we could level up.
Defining you.
Like if the right person's out there, or we have enough people at this club and we do that show, this could be the moment that, okay, we're going to put y'all in the. And I think now at the age we all collectively are, it's just there's just not as much at stake. I mean, you want to do a great job, and you're probably doing the best job you ever had because you've got whatever 20,000 hours, 30,000 hours. So that's not as much at risk anymore. So then it really is about enjoying it, making sure the crowd enjoys it. Doing what you love to do. And for me, at least, there's just not quite as much of that, like, oh, God, okay, make sure this, this.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did you guys kill a show, just knock it out of the park, and think, well, now we've done it. When I come back to this city, everybody will be here, and they will recognize my imminent greatness.
Right.
I mean, right? You did that so many times, and then you're like, or if you had a bad show, you think, uh-oh, like,
that's it.
Ruin everything. You didn't really affect anything. It's like,
yeah.
Thing, you know?
So I got to ask you this. You are someone, I've known you for, I don't know how long, 20 years plus. You are someone, for anyone listening who's not familiar, Stephen Kellogg is a workhorse. Like, you are not only on the touring front, you know, you're about to play your 3,000th show, but you've written a book. You did that TED Talk that Dave mentioned. You just put out like a stand-up special. I mean, you're constantly going. And whenever I meet somebody who, you know, is just like humming along at that kind of clip in any area of life, whether it's like there's somebody who just like they're working 80-hour weeks, or there's somebody who they're up at 3:45 a.m. and they're doing yoga every day, whatever. There's like, I'm always curious, what is the thing, what is the narrative in your brain that gets you to do that for this long?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm thinking about it a lot right now, because I'm also like, I'm not choosing it. It's just the way that the wiring exists, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I think for all the love that I experience, and you know me well enough to know this about me, what I'm about to say, for all the love and empathy, and the thing that lets all the songs in also lets in everything else, you know, anger, melancholy. Like, I'm not a depressed person, but I got the blues, you know, and I always have.
And you kind of like it.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I like I feel like the world is sad. It's beautiful, but it's sad. And I like being tapped into that in a way. But it has also given me a real sense of mortality since I was really young. I mean, they told my parents, like, he's very serious, you know, in kindergarten. Like, he's, you know, because I was.
I love when you're in kindergarten,
dude. I was like, I'm gonna die someday. This travels with me everywhere. So a lot
That's
of
amazing.
What drives me and makes me go is like, you know, every day nothing's guaranteed, and so what do I have to do? And I feel that there's a lot to do, you know, and I want to do it. I have a hard time relaxing. People erroneously, because of the way I look or the way that I seem talking, think I'm this laid back guy. You, John, know as well as anybody, I'm not remotely that guy. I'm intense and all these things, but I'm grateful because so much of what I'm proud of having done in my life came from really hard work. I don't feel like I'm particular. I think I have the baseline of talents that one needs to have a life in the arts. I don't know that I have much beyond that, but through hard work and focus and things, I've been able to build a life that I wanted to build. And so that drives me, you know, is like, okay. Yeah. But I am sort of playing with this idea that what would happen? Do I still have value as a person if I don't work quite as hard all the time, if I just live? And the main thing that's driving me to think that that's possible is that I want for my kids, maybe I want them to be hard workers, but I maybe don't want them to be quite so brutal as I've been on myself with just like, and I've burnt the people who've left my life in less graceful ways. Usually it has something to do, they burn out around me, and I get it because I go hard, and I always have, and maybe I always will. But as I'm coming up on my 50th birthday, and I want my kids to be a bit kinder to themselves spiritually and to their souls, I'm hoping I can learn to be a little easier with myself, you know, and maybe.
How do you navigate that with them, like with your four kids? Like, what does it look like to sort of navigate your drive and touring with, you know, this really robust family? Like, how do you do that?
Well, it's clunky, Dave. It's clunky. You know, on the one hand, I want them to be hard workers. I don't want to raise soft kids. I feel like we got a generation of kids who can get A's on tests and do jujitsu and a billion activities. But these kids, I come home and they're like, I'm hungry, and I'm like, well, you're in a house full of food. Why didn't you make something? Like, where's your life skills, guys?
Yeah.
And we have these conversations. So I want them to be motivated, and also I am not always the dad I want to be because I'm burning so hot all the time, And for me, having a beer and just cooking and chilling at home kind of like lowers the temperature, and I can be more the guy that I like that version of myself, I think that actually brings out a good side of the more, playing the game of cornhole too does the same thing. Just like, hey, it's okay to not go all the time. And I can see myself passing on some of those neuroses. And so now I'm just very straight with them. Hey, this is how your dad is. And these are the good aspects of that, and these are the things you probably want to watch out for, Yeah. I mean, how do you guys do it? Give me some tips, because I feel like you're great dads. I love the way that both of you show up in the world,
Well, that's kind of you to say.
This isn't how this podcast goes.
Yeah.
No, come on. Give me something. I didn't get up and not shower for nothing. I need some information here, guys.
I don't know. I mean, it's like that frustratingly unknowable question to know what is nature and what is nurture. I mean, I think it's very valuable, as you're describing, to have an eye on our disposition as people, as dads, and to know, because I'm a firm believer in my kids are paying much more attention to how I'm living my life than what I just told them. They're not paying attention to whatever life lesson I just told them with words. They're paying attention to what I do day in and day out. And that's where I'm saying to them, here's what's valuable. Look at what I'm doing. You're clocking everything that I'm doing for your entire life. And so I think it's really valuable what you're saying, to have an eye on that, and to be like, I don't necessarily want my daughters to, for just speaking for me personally, like I have that, that narrative in my mind that's like, if you don't, this morning, if you don't wake up, it's 5 a.m. and get to the pool and swim laps. If you don't, you're going to feel like slightly, lazy all day or whatever. I don't want my daughters to I want my daughters to get up and go swim in the pool because they love swimming in the pool, if that's what they want to do. I don't want them to be living out of this sort of like negative, but whatever, for whatever reason. And this is...
Do you get up and swim at 5 a.m.? Is that something you do?
Yeah. I did that this morning.
John.
And it's that's my prison that I'm living in, SK.
Which Creed tried to warn us of in that infamous record of theirs.
I know. I didn't listen to that song enough, I guess.
Oh my goodness. Good for you, man.
But whatever that is, I want them to, I want them to have the fewest amount of chains on them as possible. And God forbid I would be putting any of the chains myself on my daughters. So
yeah.
I think just being aware of it is, 90% of all that you can do.
Yeah, and we will be a lightning rod for some of. I mean, my parents are great, but they're going to they get blamed for things.
Sure.
All they're doing is just try really hard and show up, and I'm like, well, I got this from you and that from you. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Sophia is 20-something now. She's 21. Studying abroad in Spain. Is this correct?
She's in Madrid.
So how is that?
It's great. She is Dave. when she wanted to quit piano years ago, John very graciously would send these little videos like, hey, Sophia, I hear you're thinking of quitting. You can if you want, but I'm sure glad I stayed with it. And then Soph would be like, I'm not going to quit after all. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like Jedi mind tricking her into staying with piano via John, which I greatly appreciated. And now she's a wonderful piano player. Came on tour with me in December.
Oh, wow.
Played and sang. She has her first EP out. Her band's called Silkworm. She's having a great time and would be on this tour with me, I think, if schedules had permitted. And then her younger sister Adeline is getting ready to go to college, but both of them are on my new record with me. I cut a song with Counting Crows, and and Addie and Soph sing the background vocals, and then Counting Crows are the band. I mean, and that's
amazing.
That's great. That's really special stuff.
Yeah.
And then my younger two are wonderful too, and learning how to be the dad that they need me to be. That's the other thing about different kids. They need a different version of you. I didn't realize that. I thought the first two, I thought this tough love approach is going to be good, and you did something wrong, we're going to go chop wood. Actually, it is something we do in New England, and all these things but that doesn't work. Different kids need different stuff, and that was a revelation. Sometimes I go to Will Hoag's wife is a wonderful family therapist, and I don't talk to her regularly, but when I need a tune-up, I will call Julia Hoag and be like, here's what's going on in the house. Help me be the dad they need me to be. Tell me tell me what's good that I'm doing, what I could do better. Hit me,
Mm-hmm. That I can't tell you how helpful that was for me too. I think I think our parents' generation, and definitely the ones before, there was definitely this idea that if you're going to be intentional about discipline, and some people weren't, but I think the ones that were, it was here's how you discipline, this one thing. Now just lay it over all your kids.
Right.
And, they'd have some that it worked really well with, and then some it wouldn't work at all, but there was no nuance. It was just kind of that was kind of the methodology. And I really only think in the last probably, 20 years, 15 years, of people really realize that are in that space going, oh yeah, that's a terrible idea. Kids are so different, and where some respond really well to sort of challenge, they kind of go, okay, you're right. All right. So, some need kindness and sort of vulnerability and softness, and, where the others don't, and I think it's been really helpful with Annie and I and our kids to realize, man, each of them are just wildly different. And sort of trying to overlay some general methodology is just a complete waste of time. But man, does it take so much more work, knowing them enough and then tailoring each experience to each kid and how to do that well. And it is funny. I do think it's a really humorous part of it too, where it's you can really see how each kid has such a different relationship with the parent, and some kids are like, why are you always so scared of mom and dad? Just tell them how you feel. And that kid's like, no way, dude.
Yeah.
No way. And then another one's like, but I think for forever it was like, that's weird. Now I'm like, it's actually makes a lot of sense, because not only, to your point, Stephen, you have a 20-year-old, 20 whatever the older two are, and you were a different person then, a very different person than with your youngest, and who you are now, walking through life with them. And so of course they're going to have a different experience with you, and because you were different to them. Not just how you treated them and who you actually were,
Yeah, I mean, and they grew up around the band too, so which was interesting, because I think it gave them the perception of me being younger and more relatable. And the younger girls saw the band. It's not that they've never seen me play with a band, but they've never seen me play with where we're, as crazy as it is, we are a band. For this moment in time, we hit the stage like the Heartbreakers. We're just ready to go get it. Yeah. And my younger ones, seeing that, they have been different with me since this tour started. They're a little more like, where are you tonight, Dad? You guys play Maybelline last night? They're just interested in a way that I've never seen. Maybe they view that as more youthful and relatable. I'm grateful to this tour for nothing else than that. Just hey, guys,
That's so interesting. Noelle and Greta are our dad's an author, and he speaks.
Right.
Oh, wait, he's doing a band now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, totally. Our dad tells bad jokes that are about us is kind of their perception of like.
Yeah.
Greta's constantly telling me, she's like, "You're not that funny." I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate this, Greta. Thank you. Kind of you."
I am curious because Adeline is your second oldest. She's getting ready to graduate.
Yes,
I'm curious because Sophia graduated. You went through that a few years ago, and this is top of mind for me, even though I have, a few years to go. But Luca's 13. I mean, it's going to be here before I know it. How is it coming up on your second girl graduating? Like, how do you feel about it versus the first go-round?
It's incredibly hard.
Yeah.
It's so correct, and it's exactly what has to happen. But, they'll never be in you can't wind back that clock, I know it's a cliche, but I mean, gosh, it's just, you don't get it back. And you also, it's like getting full at a buffet. It's not like you can eat more, you're still going to have to. So it's not like they don't want to hang out every day now, and so it's not like I could, we've got to do more things. You can't. We're doing as much as we can do. But you will never get back that moment in time of movie nights on Fridays and the whole family gathered in one spot. You get glimpses, you get moments, you get reprieves from. But it's going to be very hard, And my daughter Adeline is kind of, in some ways, she has aspects of my personality. I've been told if you make that I can be difficult. If you make a mistake while you're on stage with me, I can sort of look at you and that you've made a mistake. And I'm not proud of this, but there is a lightning bolt that I'm capable of throwing. And I believe it to be true because when I'm on stage with Adeline and I do something wrong, she looks at me. She doesn't even have to look at me. She just kind of glances my way. She's so good and nails her stuff so much that I'm like, oh my God, is this how I've terrorized my bands for years with like just a glimpse my way that lets me know, like, you do that again, I'm not going to sing with you. I'm like,
that's
oh my
poetic
God.
Justice.
But it makes her great. She's great. She's amazing. And I'm going to miss her good company and good humor and all the things,
Hey everybody, it's John here. It's just going to be me on this one because I'm that passionate about it. Now listen, I want to tell you about Time for Learning. Time for Learning believes in harnessing the flexibility of homeschool to help families explore passions, travel, and hobbies without the constraints of traditional school hours. So you could have school like on top of a mountain, right? Or in the middle of the ocean, whatever. You can schedule a mix of subjects each day or focus on specific ones by the day. Time for Learning is incredible in the way that it has everything you need to teach pre-K through 12th grade at home with all the core and elective classes offered in a traditional brick-and-mortar school. Now, the Cinema series, it might be my favorite. It's rich, story-driven courses for grades 6 through 12 that bring learning to life. Get started with a monthly plan to see if Time for Learning is right for you and your family. You got multiple students? You can save up to 30% by opting for an annual plan. Time for Learning's templates for transcripts, grades, and diplomas make it easy to match homeschool requirements in all 50 states. And the templates can be used as a main curriculum, supplement, or even after-school or summer learning series. Now, for me personally, I'm just thinking how Time for Learning could help us musicians while we're on tour. I mean, we could educate our little ones every day in any city right before soundcheck. I mean, that would be living the dream. And after 20 years of over 1 million students served, Time for Learning is the best way to nurture confident, future-forward kids and get them ready to thrive in college and career. If you're curious if Time for Learning is right for your family, visit timeforlearning.com. That's TIME, the number 4, and learning.com to explore the curriculum and find the perfect plan for your student. You can even get started with just a monthly subscription to see how much your kids enjoy learning on their own terms. Timeforlearning.com. It is true, like younger dads need to know this if they don't already know this. It's one of those things where like it's kind of obvious, but you don't really think about it. But like you're saying, like, okay, I've got 4 more years with my daughter. I got to really get those movie nights in. But it's like, no. They're not gonna. They have like plans with friends. Like you're gonna get some movie nights, but it's not gonna be like the 4 years you just had with them.
Well, and the oldest two completely embrace this kind of like, hey, our family, we do, it's us against the world. That's how the Kellogg's are, you know.
Yeah.
And the third one was like, nah, I like my friends, you know. And Noelle, I pushed against that, and now and through Julia Hogue and some therapy and some help, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is what lights her up. She's very social in a way. She's not introverted like the rest of us in that way. She really thrives on being out in the world. So rather than go against that, we've got to embrace that. But it's not my natural go-to. John, what is going on in your city here?
No, I told the hotel to get the water going, not the fire alarm. Yeah, they're trying to heat up the water with the fire.
Let's see if it goes away, and also I'll walk and see. I mean,
this is hysterical.
Sorry, guys. Hang on. I'll mute.
This is kind of an exciting.
It is. This is new for Dad Bill.
It's gone now.
Oh, good. See, that's it. I mean, Johnny, you got that text went through.
This is this hotel's from like the 1940s. I don't even know. We're in Fountain Square. It's like walking distance to the venue, but we are. I feel like I'm in an episode of pre-Mad Men or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we're good. Again, maybe that means the water's back on.
The Hoosier State. I apologize.
We're trying
so hard. We're not Ohio, okay? We're sorry. We're trying.
Exciting. Oh my gosh. Yeah. One more question about the girls. Like, it's all girls? 4 girls?
Yeah, 4 girls, yeah.
Okay. Have you found, like, have you been amused at how you relate to them differently? Like, have you found that, you know, as they're growing, you really are like, man, she and I click so well this way. She and I click this way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so different, you know, and so I'm a very super emotional, and I'm a cuddler, and like that worked with the first couple, and I had to learn, you know, Greta doesn't want that. She's kind of like, she thrives on me going, hey, I came home with cookies, but not for you. I point at Greta, and that makes she likes that. She wants to bust with, you know, she wants to. You're ugly, Dad. That makes her happy to kind of disparage me.
That's one of her go-tos.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, who is this little animal that's not being nice to me? In the beginning, now I've learned to be like, oh, she's actually this is affection, you know?
Yeah.
Meeting people where they're at, you know, in life. Yeah. That's actually kids, everything. I mean, I don't know why it took as long as it did to get there, but I try to do that now, you know, just like... let's see where people are at, you know, and try to be okay with that. Not need everybody to fit into what you were saying, Dave. You know, that one size fits all. This is how you parent. People say you did a great job. If I had 2 kids, I would be like, yeah, we kind of nailed it, because they just kind of fell in really easily with our natural parenting instincts. And Noelle and Greta have had to adjust a lot more with, but they're amazing, and it's taught me so much, you know, to be in.
I didn't. Our youngest is kind of, it sounds like your third, and he is obviously such a delight, but he is just really different than our other 2. And so it's been interesting for me to kind of have to be okay with that in some ways, because especially when there's momentum, you know, like your first 2 are a certain way, and you're like, here we go, it's happening just like I wanted, everybody relates like I want them to me, you know, right. And then you sort of get that next one, and it's like, oh man, okay, he is just not falling in line. That is not his vibe but man, he loves these things. And so if I learn that, but it is, I think a lot of parents' dreams have been dashed on the rocks of expectations of children that aren't like that are just a different way. Yeah. And having to really go, I'm going to realign my expectations and learn how to care for this kid. Because, man, like you said so well, then when it works, it's so sweet. It's just as sweet. It's just maybe not your natural. For me, it's not my natural disposition. Like we don't connect quite in the ways that I do with my other two, but we have unbelievable connection on other things that I learned.
And you talk about that on the podcast. Do you ever feel like, does your son I worry about this. Like, are they internalizing like, oh, I'm the hard one for dad to get with? Like, how does that go?
Well, I think the biggest one with him is he is affectionate. He's just not near as affectionate as the other two. And I'm huge on physical touch. And so, I think he knows, but he still will. Like, we watched a movie Friday night and he came and sat with me and we sat and kind of his version of snuggling, which is just sitting by me, which meant the world to me. Like, 'cause he doesn't always do that. So I think I've learned to enjoy that in ways and not make it a big deal, because I think that's the hard thing. It's like, oh my God, look, Sam's sitting, and he's like, I'm out.
You ruin it if you let on that it means too much to you. You have to play it cool. Yes. Don't blow that.
I definitely, though, I do think about that a lot more now. Like when we started this podcast, my girls were so young, so I kind of felt like I could say whatever I wanted. And at that point, like Livy was maybe talking a little bit at that. I mean, they were just so young, and I felt like I kind of had carte blanche to say whatever, and it came off as like vulnerable and like meaningful. Now it's like, I definitely have to be careful about what I say, because I may think it's completely fine, and in this context it's great, but Luca and Livy may be like, I cannot believe you said that.
They're listening to so much, and I have this joke that I do in the special where I'm like, who here has kids? And people raise their hand, and then I'm like, it's not that fun. Laugh, 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 And this, as I was tuning this up, and then it goes from there. But then one night Greta goes, yeah, Dad, I know it's not that fun having us. And I'm like, oh God. So we actually called a family meeting before we shot the Amazon special for the stand-up special. I just said, look, you guys, if I'm telling the joke correctly, I'm the butt of every joke. It's not about you. I am also, this is my story. You're going to have your story. I'm living life. These jokes are sort of intended for other people who are, it's challenging running a household and making it all work. But so I love it. The jokes are never meant to hurt you guys. If you're uncomfortable with anything I'm saying, you please feel free to bring it up to me. I'm trying to make a living here, and people seem to get some solidarity and humor out of this. I know that you may not think it's funny, but I'm not like, and look, it's kind of like going on tour. I've addressed it. I've said, I think, the right things that allow me to go out. I can feel the laughs happening, and the fact that the special came out, it's obviously hitting a chord with some people, but there is a risk that they're going to grow up, and there's lots of evidence that would indicate that I didn't love being a dad, which is not.
But what's tricky is that, they're not the parents. So like you ask who all has kids, people raise their hand. I mean, I feel like I can say this there's a 0.001% of parents out there who are just the worst, but there's immediately this shared unspoken, like, okay, we are now speaking about our children, which we would all jump into a burning building for without even thinking about it. So there's this unspoken, like, okay, this is the greatest thing on earth. Now we can joke about it. And the jokes are funny because it's like there is some truth to it, but also we're talking about these kids who we would do anything for, Right. Which is not necessarily, from your kid's perspective, they're not starting from that place because they're the kid. They're not the parent.
Yeah, they're not supposed to, and yet inevitably they see and hear these things because they're observing so much more than we think that they are, just like we did with our parents. And so it's a slippery slope, but and we're also kind of in a moment in artistic history where subtext and context are not like, I mean, the upshot is I love these kids so much I would do anything. It's evident in the special. Also, if you just pull sound bites, which is kind of the world we're living in, it sounds like you're saying things that are mean, which really isn't the case. I don't think so. And there's so little room right now in the world for any kind of context or just benefit of the doubt, anything,
Yeah, just the clip is like, and that's why I hate my kids. Thank you guys for coming out to the stand-up special.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. But not to get into the weeds of like the building blocks of comedy, but it's like if I see a guy up on stage who is like, and that's why I hate being a dad, and I'm like, and I know him, and I'm like, yeah, he does hate being a dad. There's nothing funny about that.
No,
only thing that's funny is if you know this guy would do anything for his kids. He loves his kids, and he loves being a dad. Then it's like lets the air out of the room because you're like, yeah, I'm a dad too, and it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my freaking life. Thank you for acknowledging that it sucks sometimes.
Yeah, imagine taking a test that you cannot possibly ace. It's impossible, no matter how much. And you talked earlier about my predilection to working all the time. We work on this war room strategy sessions every night. My wife Kirsten and I are just sitting there. Should we do this? Should we do that? And sometimes I'm like, can we have our life back? Could we just, for 2 seconds, just not have to worry about the happiness of others and their life is going to go off the rails if we make one mistake or say one thing wrong, which it feels like most of the time.
Yeah. It's the best, though. If you're thinking about becoming a parent, just do it. It's the best.
Just do it.
Okay.
I think it's you gotta want to do it because it is going to put everything to the test. So I never push it on anybody else. I think what makes it the best is that you get instant unconditional love. You don't have to work at it at all.
Yeah.
It's like the way alcohol just bam, there goes your inhibitions. Like you don't have to get that runner's high and work for like, why do I feel so good? It's just this instant thing that happens for you. It sounds like I'm pushing alcohol. It's the second comment I've made.
What I'm taking from that is Stephen Kellogg says, if you're thinking about running, don't
drink alcohol.
Just drink.
Why waste your time? It's much easier to but it's you get instant unconditional love with parenting, and that is cool. That's
absolutely,
it's a special thing. So, but
okay, we there's so much stuff that we didn't get to, and we didn't even talk about your lovely wife Kirsten and how awesome she is and how long you guys have been married.
I got to point her to this part in the podcast.
Yeah, just have her start here.
That's good.
We end with a speed round.
Okay,
so this is a lightning round.
Okay. Here. Yeah, buckle up. Buckle.
I'm gonna kick it off.
Okay.
Stephen Kellogg can have dinner with 4 people, anyone alive or dead. Who are those people? Present company excluded.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that would have been obviously the first 2.
Yeah,
I would like that dinner next time we're together. I would go. My grandfather was my hero. Wish I could hang out with him again. Probably my grandmother, his wife, they're kind of my 1 and 2. I would tack Charles Dickens on there. And I think the 4th one might just be Michelle Obama, because I don't want to get around her.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Okay, second question. And then listen to how I'm going to phrase this. Best, worst stage moment.
Okay.
Listen, you're coming up on 3K. There's got to be some doozies here.
We could probably do a whole episode on just best, worst stage moments.
Oh, God. You guys, the worst, there are quite a few, but I did do a show at a women's college in Virginia one time where the crowd was getting rowdy, and I said, I thought off mic, this is the worst crowd. And it wasn't apparently off mic, and that crowd they started screaming at me and at us, and we had to pack up. They actually put me in the van. They're like, you stay in here. And a woman yelled to me,
wow.
This was many years ago, she yelled, you'll never make it in New York. Okay.
You'll never make it in New York.
And that was one of those moments where you're like, I think I just ruined everything. Like, I'm not a nice person. We were frustrated.
Oh my gosh.
They were frustrated. It was, but I felt like in my mind, they chased the van out of town. That would be a worse. One of the best moments I ever had on stage was a show that we did together, John. That show at 9:30 Club. And we kept getting encores.
Yes, I remember this. It was incredible.
Went up to the dressing room. We had done 3 encores. I went up to the dressing room, and I was just hanging out and like, wow, that was a good show. And at some point, the engineer came and he's like, "You're not going to go back out?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "They're still clapping. They wouldn't leave." And I went out. I mean, and there's a picture of it, which is why it stays with me. But I remember being so overcome in that moment of just to be appreciated in that scale. That people wanted 4 encores.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Very special.
That was your moment, and I remember that moment. This many years later, I mean, it was incredible to see. They just wanted more, to the point where it was like, I think you just went back out on stage, kind of tears in your eyes, and just kind of put your hands up, said thank you. I mean, what an incredible moment. You actually stole the next question.
Where are you now? Come out now. Bring some of that energy to the current. No, it's good.
Okay. Yeah. If you're going to you could get the entire world's attention for 5 minutes. You can play them one song of yours. What song would you play?
Ooh. It's got to fit in 5 minutes. That rules some of the ones that I might consider.
Well, let's say you got 7
We're not doing
and
extended flute solos.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I'll play "I'm Satisfied Man." That's probably been my friend the most over the years.
Yeah.
Okay, in conclusion, here we go. If you wrote a book about being a dad, what would it be called?
Take Heart and Show Up.
That's a good title.
Speed round, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
My comedy special is called "Maybe This Will Work." So, I mean,
that's good.
There's also
that's good too.
That could be that could also be epitaph worthy,
Well, Stephen Kellogg, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was a long time coming.
You guys,
it's great chatting with you, man. Congrats on 3,000 shows. That's amazing.
Amazing.
It's awesome. I'm so honored to be in both of your company and to be part of this podcast. And really, I appreciate the conversation, guys.
Yeah. Well, hey, here's to a hot shower that you find today somewhere.
I know. Hopefully that loud, alarming, jarring beeping that was going on in this very old hotel was something to do with the water. That would be cool.
I grew up in Indiana. That typically means hot water's ready.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad I had you to decode some of the the I'm having here.
No. Oh, you thought it was a fire alarm. No. That's the that's the water alarm. Yeah. It's an old tradition.
Steve, you're the best, man. Have a great show tonight.
See you guys.